Welcome back, folks, to another episode of the JMA Podcast. This time around, we got a real interesting guest, Richard Cloudhammer. He's a local MMA celebrity, I would even say, fan favorite. Got into the ring very late in his career, but definitely someone you don't want to mess with. Guys, let's welcome him to the stage. Rich, my man, how have you been?
Terrific. Thank you for having me on and for all the nice accolades, man. That's very nice of you. Yeah, life's been good. How about you?
Been busy with Christmas coming up, you know.
If you
I
can,
don't
can you
think
hear
I'm.
my dogs barking?
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it, man.
They're annoying. I'm worried about it. It drives me crazy. Somebody must have pulled in, but I'm sorry about that if you guys are hearing that. Um, but yeah. But Christmas has been wild, man. I went to the mall today on accident. Had a mental breakdown about capitalism. Had to sit on the bench for a bit, and then, but I'm all good now. It was just a wild. Like, what the fuck am I doing? I just bought like $350 worth of bath bombs. Like, who the fuck needs that many bath bombs? And I'm like, spoiler alert to if somebody's listening to this, it might be part of your present, so I apologize. But I was like, what the fuck? Like, and I'm like, I already did my Christmas shopping. This was like a couple, like, it was supposed to be just a couple, like, top off gifts. And then, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, who? So I'm going tomorrow morning early to return them because I'm like, this is fucking stupid. I'm trying to get out of that, off that treadmill, like the capitalistic treadmill of like, and I know this sounds crazy, philosophy 101 kind of guy, but it's just like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm sad for my kids because like I'm old. So Christmas when I was younger was like Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joes. And it was like, you got tangible, cool shit that like I played the fuck out of for like the rest of the year. You know what I mean? Like we were poor, like super poor, but my parents always, I had a kind of weird childhood, but my parents always made sure Christmas was cool. And like, I don't know if that was an apology for the rest of the year because it sucked, but like, hey, like at least, you know, Christmas is cool shit. But like, now it's like, I can't even do that with my kids. Shut the fuck up. Sorry. I can't even do that with my kids because like, there's nothing they like that much, like toys. You know what I'm saying? So like even like Liz, she's like, it sucks because like you buy them all this shit. They're just going through the process of ripping shit open. And that's the dopamine rush. They don't give a fuck what it is. Because as soon as they're done, they're kind of like, all right, back on Fortnite. You know what I mean? And that's I feel sad. That's like the culture that we provided for them. And I'm trying to do we as in the society. And I'm sorry, this sounds fucking crazy, but you could think Total War pre-workout for the fucking me just being on rambling. But like, do you know what I mean? It's just like a weird culture that we provided.
I this is gonna sound counter to what you're doing or the way you're perceiving it. Is I've actually been trying to go to the mall like once a month because I feel like we've kind of let these jobs and businesses kind of die by the wayside. I mean, I like this. I was telling Kristen, I was like, you know, how often does the mall get to see this many people anymore?
So I love that idea too. People, brick and mortar, like that's, yeah.
The bath bombs may seem stupid, but like you may have just paid someone's paycheck for the week. You know, you may have secured someone that job for a little bit longer. And I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but that's where I'm at.
No, I like that aspect of it, and you're correct. I kind of go through. I says what's hard. I love gift giving. I love it. I like the challenge of like finding the person the perfect gift. Bath bombs in it. You know what I mean? Like it's like, and there is a part of that is because it's like I looked at. I'll be part of. I got my mom this like $150 gift set because I'm like, you know what? Like, what else do I get her? Like, she deserves to relax. She has a nice bath. She's going through some stuff health wise. Like I know her. I'm like, this is a nice way to whatever. But then I'm like, $150 worth of that. Like that's just me throwing money at the bath bomb's thoughtful. Let me multiply that by fucking 20. I could have just got a nice simple set. You know what I'm saying? Like the same. So that's but I 100% agree with you. And I'm trying to get away from Amazon because I fucking lean on that as a crutch too much. So like, and I saw that dude's having a $600 million wedding. The fucking shit going on in our country, and that dude's having a $600 million wedding.
You're talking about Bezos?
Yeah, and like, listen, that guy could do. Hey, it's our fault for giving him that money. I'm not faulting him for having the wedding. He has the means to, right?
You beat me to it.
But it's like, what are we doing? Like, I gotta get off. If I don't like that, I gotta stop consuming.
I'd be hypocritical if I said we don't use the Amazon affiliate links on the website.
Listen, the guy built it. It's so easy, and it I hate it's like when people are like, we can go. I don't know. We're supposed to be on an MMA path. I know or whatever. But to kind of segue into that too, which we can go on. I don't want to go down in the salary of MMA people too much, but like when people are like, oh, fucking ball players, they shouldn't make this much money. Well, stop watching the fucking TV. That's why they're getting the money, the TV deal, the jersey sales. People bitch about Bronny James, right? Okay. Oh, he's a Nepo baby, right? Bronny, you guys understand what I'm talking about out here. LeBron's son, Bronny, correct? Shouldn't have been picked. I say, fuck it, dude. If your fucking number one asset star says, pick my son, that's a fucking, with a second round, that doesn't cost you anything. Those guys, name me one fucking 59th pick that panned out, right? So yep. I think people should get by on merit, but if the dude who's your star, right, is saying pick my son, I mean that's so. And I don't know if you saw how much jersey sales he sold this year.
I have not.
Can you guess the second round last? Don't Google it. Just think quick. It's not.
You said baseball and jersey
basketball jersey sales.
Basketball.
I'll tell you this: Lakers. He's LeBron's son, right? 50 million of jersey sales. You know how much LeBron makes a year? Like 59. No, not even. So his son being played. So the Lakers, as a business decision, his son paid for their father's fucking year just in that guy's jersey sales. He's playing the G League half the year. Like what I'm saying is going along with you're saying. If people are willing to spend it, they're to blame, right? Just or not. I think we need to get away from fucking the Roman circus that is sports, where there's that much money involved in it. That's ridiculous to me. That
I think we should diversify it, and segueing into the sports thing.
Yeah,
like we could support Cage Wars, we could support Donnie Brooks, we can support Elite, we can support Rolling Stoners, and by doing those things, we're supporting the local athletes, the up and coming athletes.
Agreed.
And we can diversify the competition, and we can keep the
money into it at local levels. So it's the same thing with what we did with everything in. Oh my God, I don't want to go down. I'm so sorry. One, I want to apologize to everybody because John, I want to apologize to you too because we have such different cadence and energy. I talk fast. I don't mean I don't want to over talk you. I just
no, you're good.
You're very much more like methodical speaker.
I'll insert where I feel need to.
But yeah, I would say you're more methodical speaker. I'm just like a machine gun. But so, what I want to say with that, exactly what we did with our society. We made everything on a national level. Why the Amazons have $1 billion? Why the Yankees have $1 billion? Remember, what was the Will Ferrell movie, the basketball movie?
I can only think of what's
the Tropic Thunder was his was the team, but the Flint Tropics, whatever. What I'm saying is we need to go back to the Albany Firebirds, the local. That's fun. Put the money into those sports. That needs it. Get those people a living wage. You know what I'm saying? So there's some money there. What happens is we with everything else, we instead of having John Murray's hardware, and Rich Cloudhammer's hardware, another town away. We conglomerate, and then Lowe's buys it up, and Home Depot buys it up, and they put it all together, and it's just sad. And same with groceries, all that stuff. We went to
I think it comes down to a level of convenience.
100% and cheap. You could buy a $9 shovel instead of $29 shovel from me or you.
Yeah,
it makes sense, but we lose. Me or you stop having a living wage for our family, then we have to go work for Lowe's for $12 an hour, and not knocking anyone. I'm just saying you lose that.
It's hard to be a conscientious
consumer
buyer.
Yep.
Even like you said, like the convenience of Amazon, the convenience of Walmart. I live right across the street from Walmart. Literally walking across the street is.
You live near Bella, right?
What?
You live near Bella, don't you?
Yeah.
Bro, that Walmart is the fucking wild, wild west. That's Walmart is why I stopped going to Walmart. I can't fucking do it anymore. And Bella had a post the other day on Facebook. He said, just complain about Walmart. And I'm going to tell you, bro, what somebody told me. Because I used to go the same thing. I said exactly what you said. It's so cheap. It's so convenient. I can get everything there. But I had the most stressful fucking experience every time I went in there. I'm like, I'm going to kill somebody who's shopping there. The workers have no idea what the fuck's going on. There's human urine on the fucking floor. It's this place is fucking chaos. I'll go pay an extra 80 cents for fucking paper towels at Target. Because at least they have the Looney Tunes somewhat wrangled in. And that's becoming even now more chopped up. But it's fucking whatever, man. Humans ruin the world. I hope these fucking orbs are aliens and they come down, they're slow reveal, and they're telling everybody. I hope they come in and say, listen, you guys are fucking stupid. You fucked everything up. We're not going to blow you up, but we're going to teach you guys how to fucking live. I hope to God that's what, or not even God, I don't believe it. Even if, whatever, because we failed as a fucking species. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. Serious. I'm sorry. I
don't think we're doing that bad.
I think we're doing horrible, man. I really do. I think our culture, El Shaddai posts stuff from Japan. Not that they're perfect. The culture, respect, clean subways, clean cities, things like that.
But
he's petting deer in the city, bro. Like,
I looked over at the screen and all of a sudden you're in the.
I know. I'm like, I'm in the fucking. They're petting deer in Japan. And I'm not saying. And he said they have a lot of cultural flaws too. But like,
they have a lack of. I think I mentioned in another podcast, but they have a lack of children right now.
I was just gonna say that.
And I think we're starting to face the same issue too, but.
I can go down that path with like it's a super left kind of I don't want to get too fucking political.
No, you're good. But real quick, yeah. I think in order to go down a Japanese path, people kind of like the Japanese don't need to be told to be disciplined. They don't need like a lot of people
because it starts
want regulation. They want
it's a cultural. It's a generational culture.
It's built into them, and a lot of, and this goes back to parents, this goes back to the people before us, they didn't teach their kids responsibility. They didn't teach them accountability. They didn't teach them self-control. We see it nowadays, and this is actually going back to the gifts thing. I got my nephew. I don't have a kid, so I got my nephew an Xbox 360. I could have gotten him Xbox One, but I got him a 360. I started with out-of-date systems. I grew up playing out-of-date systems. And as a result, I feel like I have appreciation for a lot of the older tech and a lot of the stuff that came before me. I don't like a lot of 80s stuff, but I respect a lot of 80s culture and stuff, if that makes any sense.
That does.
And it's because of what I had access to growing up. Now, I watch my nephew with an iPad. And I think to myself, like, why is my sister giving him this iPad? This kid, like, give him a basic device because this has first of all, this has too much access. Second of all, it's too advanced because he's not going to appreciate having limited stuff. He's not going to appreciate not having certain features or certain things until he's given that progression. But if you throw it right at people, they're never going to appreciate that. Like, you take someone out into the sticks who's never had, like, been away from tech, they're not going to know what the fuck to do with themselves.
Yeah.
You know, you find me, I'm going to go find a stick and I'm going to start whacking something.
So that's, dude, it's so funny you said that because there's 3 things I want to touch on. One, we have a 360 here, and I was playing it for a while I think it was a 360. It's white and rectangular.
I did.
Or is that the one? I don't know which one's which anymore. I have no idea. We have so many, whatever. But I was playing with one that's not the newest generation, which we have that. I was playing the one older, and I tried to get a game Space Marine, and I was like, why dude, I was playing some game which is a new game I was playing on this thing for the longest time. I didn't know it was not the newest one. I tried to download a super new game. I don't play a lot of games. I just get hooked to like 1 or 2 here and there. And I was like, yo, this fucking won't download. And then I'm like, I see why. It was an older one. I'm like, this is an older one. The graphics are fucking crazy. Like, this is amazing. Like, there's something better than this. Like, and I went upstairs. I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers are playing the better one. And the one kid like got so whatever. I'm like, what the fuck? And then he didn't do well in school. So I'm like, there's your fucking punishment. You get this old one, and I'm taking the new one downstairs. And I switched it. And he was pissed because Fortnite's not as fast on it. I'm like, it's the same fucking game, bro. Like, whatever. So now I was playing Space Marine 2. Awesome game, right? It's so much fucking fun. It's just like, but to touch your point, I remember wanting Nintendo so bad. And there's a funny movie we just watched, 8-Bit Christmas or something. It's on I think it's on Netflix or Prime. Watch it, people. But it's about like Nintendo and shit in the 80s. And I got an Atari. I remember opening it. I'm like, fuck, like this isn't Nintendo. But I'm like, it's better than not having anything. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, this is fucking pretty cool. I played Donkey Kong Jr. on it. Remember, I played like the word processing thing because like there wasn't a lot of games for this thing. So other people were playing fucking Mario and stuff. I remember like fucking with their word processors just because it's like something. And then I was yelling at my kids last night because like they're like, oh, we don't have any games. I'm like, I paid for the fucking subscription. You get like 100 free games a month. You know what I'm talking about? Like the cloud thing.
Yeah. So
I'm like,
Game Pass,
like,
whatever it is.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck. But I'm like, you get access to whatever. They're like, oh, it's not the same. I go, bro, when I was fucking 7. I played like DuckTales or whatever, right? Which was an awesome game. Beat it like 1,000 times. And then I remember in my head, I was pretending I was like Rambo or something in my head going through, because like that's all I had. It was like I got one game a year for Christmas. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, I had to reinvent the fucking game, playing it. And then like I played Kung Fu for Nintendo and had to like eat. That's how old I am. But like you had to like, I just would pretend it's something else. And like, it's just it's a culture thing. So to stem with your sister's thing, saying about like, because it's just like easier to give him that sometimes instead of like the progression. And then I don't know, we're off on a fucking tangent. I'm sorry. But
No,
let's
you're good.
segue to MMA, because I don't want to. I sound like a fucking conspiracy theorist, but like it's just sad. I think our culture evolved too quick for us to really embrace it and to really.
I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people of our age, like specifically millennials, kind of resonate with that.
You're 34, 35.
Who, me?
Yeah,
I'm 31.
Yeah, I knew you were young. That's what I'm saying. I knew you were way younger. So like, I'm 43. I'm like I'm a generation above. So like,
are you technically?
I'm technically millennial. I'm like
you're early millennial.
Yeah, I'm like on the cusp of. I'm not Gen X.
Okay.
But like I'm on the cusp of both. It's weird. There was a term for it because like it was a cute term because I grew up in analog, but was there for the breach or the transition to digital, so to speak. But
see, so like that's interesting because like I was on the cusp of like the first computers in the household everywhere. Like
I saw that happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? But as a teen, I was a teen.
I was like 5 to 8.
Oh yeah, I was 12, 13, and like my rich friends had it. And then, you know what I mean? I remember going to their house and being like, what the fuck is this?
I remember
then being like
hockey games on the computer for the first time. My grandfather had one of those ones with like the blue and white screen where you had to like use the keyboard to select text. And like there weren't even images yet. It was all like, it was all like you see in like the 60s, 70s movies where like they're looking at the screen and shit.
Mm-hmm. Bro, so in my school, I was probably I think I was still in Steventown Elementary, which is I was like first, second, third grade, whatever. I was early on. They had a Mac in there, right? We had a trailer they built. It was like addition to the school. They threw a trailer back there. That was a computer room. You had to walk back there. Dude had a fucking Mac, and it had like a screen. They had like it was like a drawing basically. And if you double click the fucking fishbowl, it was like a guy in a house. It was like it was this little program they had. He fed the fish. It was like mind blowing, bro. I mean, you look at it now. It's like the fish was probably just like this. But it was like, holy fuck, because before it was just all you saw was just letters on a screen. Now there was like an image, and it was like interacting, like you're like click click. It was nuts. But yeah, we'll go to something else, so people will probably want to fucking stop me and you rattling about the conspiracy theories. I feel like the movie.
I thought this was a fitness and health podcast.
I know, right? Exactly. I'm like, this guy's talking about fucking aliens and fucking
don't feel
Oregon Trail.
Last episode with Nate, we got derailed and we started talking about I think we talked about the drones and some conspiracy stuff. I'll have to link you up with our sponsor, Nonsensical Knowledge Podcast.
That shit's blowing my mind. There was one release today. The thing actually formed into a B-52 formation or B-2 bomber. Yeah, the triangle bomber. Like it was a bunch of them that formed. This stuff's blowing my mind because there's some over my house in Burnt Hills.
Well, yeah, because you live near
Knowles.
You live near Knowles and Stratton.
Yep. So like it's nuts, man.
Do you know the military depot out towards Guilderland?
No.
Okay, well there's a depot. It's off a depot road actually. There's a bunch of railroad tracks. You probably wouldn't even notice it unless you looked at the fencing and the rails going in. But the other night you probably saw me post the photo of it. There was an object in the sky. Now I like looking up at the stars at night, and it's a hobby I have whenever I'm running in the morning and the stars are out or whatever. You get an idea of what's typically there.
Yeah.
Towards Fort Hunter area, there was a big bright light that was not normal. Like wasn't a plane. Like I know what the fuck a plane looks like.
That's what people are like. Oh, it's this. No, it's motherfucker. Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't normal. And then like within 30 minutes, it was gone.
Mm-hmm.
like completely gone. Like it was stated in the stationary position and then it disappeared after 30 minutes. And yeah, it looked like it was over the military depot. So
It's crazy.
that's where they've been reported.
So there's like, my theory of this is like, because there's like these orbs that they can't really get a picture of. There are drones that don't match any of our drones that are currently out. And then there are like drones that are and objects that are identifiable. So I'm like, I think this sounds crazy, but I really think that I think we've had contact with them for a long time, obviously, you know, because like reverse engineering technology, all that stuff, and like just from things that have been coming out, like Lou Elizondo and things like, I don't know if you've heard of him, but I think they've always been saying like, hey, we're going to reveal ourselves eventually, so you guys might want to get on it. And I think they're kind of like worried that like, all right, you guys, it's kind of looking at like, best way to describe it, like fucking ants or something on a fucking really valuable piece. Like the earth is valuable. We have so many good resources. It's a perfect place to live, right? Very rare for that combination. Well, hear me out. And it's kind of like, listen, you guys can do whatever the fuck you want. Just take care of it. Just don't fuck up a really good thing. We're starting to kind of fuck up really, you know, with the nuclear, we're kind of close nuclear war, so to speak. It's out, you know, the Russia-Ukraine thing is a lot of geopolitical conflict right now. And I think they're kind of like, hey, listen, you guys are kind of getting too close. You're fucking things up. You're also like the climate change, all that. We can argue about this, whatever. This is my theory. So they're doing a soft reveal and the military is scrambling their shit, kind of like almost like a shell game of like, hey, if you put a bunch, oh, look, see, we told you those drones are stupid, and kind of misdirecting, like, hey, guys, they're planes. Like you've heard people say they're just planes. Motherfucker, I've looked at the sky my whole life. You know what I mean? Like I know what I normally see up there. This is not normal. And it's like, oh, they're hobby drones. I know a lot of people who do hobby drones, like big ones. They're not out. How do I say this?
No, I understand.
Because the amount of people who would be doing it, they'd be involved because there's not a lot of people with those kind of drones out there, you know? So there's so many out. And then it's like, you're acting like I'm dumb. Like I can't tell there's something weird going on. I don't know. There's just so much going on. So I maybe it's just wishful thinking because I'm really jaded with like how our government's, I don't know, like the inequality and stuff. So, but whatever. I'm sorry. I'm going to slow down because it's weird.
It's been one of those things where like the last few years, like I know you don't like Trump. I'm not a huge fan of him, but I also think that like he got dealt a really bad hand with the opposition and the way that certain things were handled.
And I'll be honest, and COVID. Like I think that, you know, that's a big, like, yeah, it's a hard thing to deal with.
If you go back with COVID and you go back to the very beginning, Trump started an investigation into it in January before anyone else. Pelosi was telling her district to go out and celebrate holidays, like in mass groups, while Trump was ordering investigations. And then months later, she's telling everyone that he didn't do anything while she was.
Let me take. I want to be on record to say I don't like her either. I hate her. Like she's a horrible person. Like I'm saying, she's a horrible.
But
person.
just to kind of make the point, though, like for me, it was like as someone who doesn't like this individual, I'm watching the opposition consistently try to destroy this other individual, and what they're saying is systematically and factually incorrect, and it's hypocritical to the acts that they themselves were conducting. And
that's a great point. And
as an individual who tries to be rational in their decisions, I have to sit back and ask, what the fuck is your motive here? Because now I watch you get the president that you want. Now, personally, I don't know that the last election, not the one that just happened, but the one before that, I'm not saying it was stolen because I don't know. But I have a feeling it was stolen, and that's just my gut feeling by the way things were handled and by the way they were presented by the people who were handling them. When you consistently tell me you don't like an individual and you make it blatantly obvious that you hate this person with the utmost, disdain. Now, granted, there's things Trump has said that have been disgusting. It pushes me towards the angle that you're not biased, or that you're biased, and that your decisions were based on a desire of hate or a place of hate, not fact. And that leads me to believe that malice may have been involved. That doesn't mean that I'm not saying that's fact, but my gut tells me that something has been moving on the left in a negative way for a while. And looking at the way that things were handled with Biden, the man wasn't impeached, but yet he's clearly senile. You didn't hold a special election when you could have to properly allow a good Democrat in. And it just seems like you were trying to shoehorn someone that no one liked. She lost her primary, and I don't know. That just doesn't sit right with me as someone who's on a third party and watching this from the outside. Again, I'm not defending Trump. I'm not saying he won or he lost. I'm not saying that, what he did is right or wrong. But I don't know. Like the Republicans aren't the ones in power, clearly.
And that's why I'm voting for the aliens. They have to. That's why I'm here for I really think that is what we need. A third party. The fucking aliens, orbs, Slum God 203 said he's on Colorado.
Gray.
What?
Vote for the gray.
Vote for the bro. But I'm like, I don't think they're even bad, because if they were bad, they would have came through and fucking wiped everything out. Either way, this stuff is really interesting. It's got me into quantum physics and how that should work. There's like things that it's like crazy. There's so much we don't understand that we kind of have a grasp of what we understand. And then there's like a complete drop off of like how things at a below molecular level actually operate in their own independent physics. That's what quantum physics are, obviously, but I'm not very smart, so it's hard for me to explain and or understand it. But it's like, it got me reading about it, and it's just insane. It's a really cool path that like there's so much more we don't know than we do. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's wild. Sure. But
it's one of those subjects that I really avoid because it's hard enough for me to stay knowledgeable about sports.
Mm-hmm.
I can't keep up with that.
Same, but it's like it got me going down that path of like why you can't see I'm not going to get into it, but like it's really interesting. It's like a pocket vacuum dimension. It's really intense, and it's proven by quantum physics that that's something that can happen, and it's wild. Anyway, next subject. We'll segue to that. I think all politicians. I'm really besides. I think there's like 7 that I could probably name that I think like them or dislike them. Like Mitt Romney, Bernie. Like they stay in their, it's the same view they've had for a long time. They'll adjust based on new knowledge, but like, hey man, they're true to what they've been saying for a long. They don't wish-wash. They don't like, they're in it for the money, so to speak. Like obviously it's a well-paying position. You're gonna get money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
you get insider tips. You get
yeah, and that's fucked up.
You get access to certain things that you wouldn't get otherwise access to.
Yeah.
But
what I'm saying is like these people. It's like for the most part, there's people out there who actually at least they somewhat honest. You're going to get a little bit of fringe benefits, like you said, from that. But people like Pelosi. I mean, they're actually whatever. I'm not going to go down that, but they're going to be investigated for something. They should be investigated. It came out the other day that so many like you said insider things from her whatever. Next subject. What else did you want to ask? I'm sorry. We went too political, and I didn't mean to go that way. But
no, you're good. You're good. It was nice energy. The local promotions though. I know you fought for Cage Wars MMA, right?
Yep. Yes.
What age? So jog my memory. I remember being at the debut, but I don't recall what age did you actually start fighting at?
I just turned 40. When I started fighting, I started training seriously at 35, like for jiu-jitsu. I did jiu-jitsu for like 4 years. I boxed a little in my 20s. I took boxing lessons, like never like a match or anything. I did taekwondo growing up, but I got into jiu-jitsu. And then I went to Cage Wars and stuff. And you always see it. I'm like, oh man, that's so fucking cool. But it scared the fuck out of me. And I'm like, that's just crazy. And I'm like, I would love to do that, just the idea of it, but never thought about it. And then, talking to people and like Liz, my girlfriend, like she was like, if you think you could do it, you should try it. I'm like, I'm not a person. I've never wanted to be. One of my biggest things about this whole fucking community is a lot of people are kind of fake or lean into it. Like they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm a fighter. And it's like, bro, I don't even consider myself a fighter. Like, and I've done it 7 times. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I'm not even there. But like, I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm going to take an MMA fight until I knew. Like, I don't like saying things. That's how I am as a person. You know me pretty well.
Let me ask you, what do you classify yourself as if you don't classify yourself as a fighter at this point?
Someone who's fought. You know what I mean? Like people call me a fighter and I'm not going to say no. I mean, I got fucking
Would you
scars.
say you're a grappler? Would you say like you're a martial artist? Would you say...
I just am an adventurer. I just like doing things that put me outside my comfort zone. You know what I mean? Like, I think a fighter's like, I mean, I guess I am. I don't want to say that I'm not. I fucking love fighting. Like, but I don't know. It's just hard. It's like I don't know, man. I just feel arrogant saying that, I guess. It's just weird. You know what I mean?
No,
but
I feel you. Because,
but it's like, I'm a jiu-jitsu practitioner, but I don't think I'm better at grappling. You know what I mean? Like, if we want to say, like, I have a very unorthodox striking style, but like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I do MMA fights. It's just hard. But what I'm saying was like, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to take an MMA fight until because that's a lot of nerves. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, I took a year off from jiu-jitsu and I kickbox a lot with Will Berry. You know, like he's a commentator
Right.
with Kenny Pompey, our coach at the time, and, you know, and my peers, and worked a lot. I drove down to Will Berry a lot, and enough where I'm like, okay, I feel like confident I can take a fight. You know, I got my striking up to where I wanted to be, and then took a fight, and it went well, and it was awesome. It was so much fucking fun, and like.
Who did you fight in the first one?
Paul LaFond. Who actually?
Oh, okay, never
who
mind.
I coach now? Who's actually I'm in his corner for the past.
I was gonna say he's on Jucal now, isn't he?
Yep, he wasn't. He wasn't until like 2.5 years ago.
For a second there, I almost confused him for Gregory.
No.
But
Paul is scary.
That's Gregory at the last one, right?
He did, yeah.
Yep.
And Paul's the man. That kid's one of my best friends now. You know what I mean? Like, and I remember I'm a pretty unshakable person, confidence wise. Like, you know, like there's people like, you know, I know I'm not a great fighter, but I will fight almost anybody besides Isaiah Sakyaw, scariest person I've ever fucking seen.
Who is it?
Like Isaiah Sakyaw. He was a former champion of Cage Wars. He looks like young Lando Calrissian. I've said this before, actually. He's brutal. Like, and he's a pro fighter now. He fights out of Atlanta, kind of near where I lived. I actually trained a guest training thing I did, like a free trial thing. He actually trains there, Lima, ATT Lima. It's just weird because he's from up here. He moved down there. I didn't even know, you know what I mean? That I saw on his page one day. I'm like, holy fuck, bro, you at Lima? He's like, yeah. I'm down the street at SPG. And like, anyway, it was cool. He's a great guy, but scary. But then I fought Paul, and I remember I was all confident. Nothing really. At weigh-ins, I was like, oh, he's a big motherfucker, and he is scary looking. I'm like, I could be home on my couch with my kids. Why the fuck am I doing this? But it was fun. You know, I had a great time. And like, I'm glad I caught Paul at the stage he was in his career. Because he's a really tough fucking guy now. You know what I mean? Like, he's really, really, really fucking tough. Like, he put his game together, and as you've seen his last few fights, like that guy can fight, you know?
What do you, you know, were you always involved in the MMA martial arts community, or was that something that you kind of
No, not at all, man. Like, I always liked UFC, you know, I always got it. And so I remember my dad got UFC 1, my stepfather, I still call him dad, but he's fucking an idiot, but UFC 1 like 92. I remember watching the fucking French dude fucking kick the sumo wrestler's teeth out of his mouth. I don't know if you ever saw that clip. It was oh my! I remember just being, I was like 11 years old, 10 years old, and I'm like, we got all of Mike Tyson fights all the time, and we got that, and I was like, what the fuck? Like that happened, and it just like really showed you what fighting was, man. I mean, like the dude, I think he was wearing white pants, the French guy, skinny, shaved head, lean. I shouldn't say skinny. Fucking backed up I think he broke his orbital socket, and then kicked him in the fucking face as he was on the ground, and you saw the teeth go flying, and I was just like,
I don't remember. So I watched a little bit of UFC 1, but I don't remember the clip you're saying.
That might be the first fight. I'll send it to you afterward. I'll Google it. It was just gnarly. Like, that's the coolest shit. But then I just, you know, I took Taekwondo. I got into Taekwondo because of that. Did that for a while, and moved. And like I wasn't really involved in anything productive in my 20s. I was kind of an idiot. I joined a basketball league and stuff, and that's about it. Then I had my kids, settled down, split with their mom. I got custody. They go with their moms every weekend, and I'm like, I started. Oh, how do I get back in the community? I didn't like do anything for years. So the boys were little, and with her, and then I started going out to the bars. I'm like, this ain't it. That's a bad you know what I mean? That's not the life I want to live. I know how that works out. So I joined jiu-jitsu because of Jason Rotter, who's a professor at Chicago. I known him since high school, and then just fucking was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. Like, you know what I mean? I never thought I'd like jiu-jitsu. I want to shout out to James Reeves. I don't know if you ever trained with James, one of our black belts. He's a smaller gentleman, 145. I mean this lovingly because I'm a nerd. James is kind of nerd, you know, unassuming. He's fucking jacked, but like unassuming kind of guy, very mild-mannered. And he was a brown belt at the time, and I'm like, I'm a pretty big guy. At the time I was 190. Now I'm fucking fat, 220. But like, I was like, I work out every day. I've done boxing. I know how to fight. He's gonna beat my ass because I don't know jiu-jitsu, but it's gonna give him some work. It gave him no work at all, bro. I was like, you know how it is when I was like a seal, or like he was like a seal with the bouncing the ball in the circus. Like I just was like, oh, I couldn't get he beat the shit out of me, and I'm like, this is the coolest thing. If a dude like this, he didn't break a sweat, was not stressed at all. You could just see he did not, you know how it is when you play with somebody who's brand new. Like they don't know where their center of gravity is. They don't know where their limbs are going. They're planted, giving you everything you need to like break, you know? And I'm like, this is so cool. I got to learn this. And then, you know, Nels is enormous. He's like 6'5", 300 pounds. So I knew he's tough. Alan, my professor, our other professor, he was always an older gentleman, 60 plus, still formidable, very defensive base. But I'm like, man, if this guy can hold his own, slowing me down. Nels rolls, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's got injured. He had a knee injury and he had another health issue going on, but he still rolls. Yeah.
I always see Nels at tournaments, but I always wondered if he's still active or to what degree.
Yeah, like he's trying to get back in shape. He had a health issue when I was private that but it's good now, but he set him back a little bit and he had to deal with that. But he wants to kind of go back to competing in tournaments and and getting back in his fight. Like when I met him, he was fairly lean. And he put on a little bit of, he's muscular. He's a big guy now, but he put on a little bit extra pounds. He's very involved in his daughter and son's sporting life. And they're going places. So like he's running schools, full-time job with the state. Like the guy's maxed out. I absolutely adore him. He's one of my best friends. But he does a lot for all of us and for everything. And so, he's a menace. He's a 15-time New York State champ, IBJJF, and I believe a world champ at blue belt. So,
wow. So what keeps you kind of going back to the MMA cage?
Oh man. It was before it was love. So we're kind of going to break this up because like this last fight was my last fight, right?
You say that, but you also said it was your last fight previously.
3 times. Exactly. That's what so they're trying to get me to fight in February. I'll be honest with you. And I kind of want to, because I want to punch this kid in the face so fucking bad.
Wait, before we get started, is this who I think it is?
Yes. And so we'll go to that a little bit more, but like, what caught me going was like, all right, so the first one was like, I just had to prove to myself, I don't care if fucking Paul murdered me in there. I just wanted to prove to myself that I can get in there and the doors closed behind me. And I did it. Like that's all. That's scary. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is doing jiu-jitsu tournaments, like especially the first one, you're like, whoa, fuck, what? Now I'm like, all right, cool. The second one was like, fuck, that first one was fun. Why not? You know what I mean? Like I'm moving it was right before I moved to Georgia, whatever. And then the third one was like, I got to fight in front of Mike Tyson for a belt. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, I can't. How can I had fucking food poisoning. I was sick. That dude missed weight by 30 pounds. Fuck it. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like that's the fourth one was like, I thought I could win. It was for the middleweight belt, and I said I would. If even though the guy missed weight, I don't care. I'll fight. I'll keep going as long as I can fight for the middleweight belt. That's what I usually fight at, 185. And then the last one, I was supposed to have a retirement fight, and the dude pulled out like a week before. And that dude is a complete jerk off, Devin Jacksland. And I'm like, I half trained because I'm like, he's such an idiot. I'm going to kill him. I just want to get one more fight under my belt, whatever. And he looked the part. He's a big kid. He looks cut. He has a fucking 3 brain cells, a fused ganglia. You know what a worm's brain is called? The fused ganglia. It's literally basically 2 nerve endings. That's what that kid had in his brain. He's a fucking idiot. But I'm like, so he looks the part though. He's jacked, tall. I'm like, all right, I'm going to fuck this dude up. Look great. Joke's on me because the person who filled in for that was Kenny Correa. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm now going to look like a fucking jerk off.
Yo, Kenny is dangerous.
I know. Yeah, I know. And and he's amazing. Great kid. And then that one, and then the Jeff one was like, fuck it. Like I'm in shape. And then the one after
Gregory,
I fought Jeff the second time, and then that sucked because I have a cut. I posted on I have a scar here, and I got it from basketball. I dove into a wall for a rebound, and it's a scar, and then it opened during a week before mine and Paul's fight. If you watch mine and Paul's fight, you can see it's discolored because it's glued together and like fucking makeup on it. So it didn't look like I have, because it was Christian Blonde split me open a week before Paul's fight. And we were worried that like, fuck, if Paul touches me there, it's going to pop open. Jeff opened it, which is all props to him. You know what I'm saying? Like it hit the scar and opened, which is props to him that he hit hard, but like they stopped the fight because I had a cut. And I'm like, bro, this is fucking bullshit because I always have that cut, but whatever, it is what it is. And so I wanted to fight one more time. That was John. And Flansburgh, he showed up to weigh-ins. It was really fun, exciting, and then he didn't show up to the fight. And that sucked. And then I was supposed to fight 2 more times, but I had
he done that at
2 in a row.
Two with you, right? Or is it
he did one wars? He's backed out of like 4 fights. So he backed out of a fight with Odin to fight me, right? He was supposed to fight for Mac. Backed out of that fight to fight me, right? Which, whatever. Then but that wasn't day of. That was like a month before, right? So he fucked Odin there. He fucked me by not showing up. He fucked Odin by not showing up, right? and he was supposed to fight me in that card, but I was supposed to fight Odin at Mac and then John, but I had an eye injury from sparring. My retina was falling off, and so they had to like fix that, which luckily it's good now. I mean, it's still damaged. My iris is damaged, so like you see me wearing an eye patch, so like it's because this eye doesn't adjust to light as fast as this one. So when I go to rooms, it doesn't. My vision's still fine, but this one gets like cloudy until it takes a second to like kind of like a camera. You know what I mean? Like like, and then he didn't show up to Odin, and then they banned him for life. And then I was trying to get him to fight for this last fight where I fought Niles. John agreed to it, but then wouldn't commit to it with Tim and then me. And I'm like,
is this the fight where like I had chimed in? Because I had asked him at one point, like,
yes, and you didn't get with it, yeah. And I was like, that's why I posted. I hate being dramatic.
Straight up, I said to him, like, why don't you just reach out to the promotion and ask for the contract? And he told me that Tim has him blocked. And then he told me Cage Wars has him blocked. I said, well, and then I went to the Cage Wars website and I found their press email, or not their press email, but one of their emails literally listed on the website. And it was like, I sent it to him. And I was like, well, here you go, bud. Like, and he went off on me, and he was saying like something to the effect of he'll kick my ass.
I remember that. Yep.
And then, I remember I just responded like, "You're not gonna show up to that fight." And like,
that's awesome. Well, that's it. It's like, bro, like, and so that goes by why I don't like John. I don't even care about John right now. I can't even say I don't like him because I really don't have any emotion. Like for a while, if I saw him in public, I did see him in public and yelled at him and put it on Facebook. I don't know if you remember that. Like I caught him at the weight, you know.
Oh no, I remember you. So what started that whole beef? Because you were posting some shit. He was posting some shit.
At first it was just playful shit, and then he posted like a video of like two dudes doing each other. I guess the best way to say it, and tagged me and Paul in it, saying it was us. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like that doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm not, dude. Being gay isn't an insult to me, but I look at it as like, cool. Like, all right, if we open that Pandora's box, I get to be a fucking dickhead to you. Like I post like I think it was an AI Hobbit thing of his face somebody made. But it was like all right, it was a little joke. You know, he calls himself Leprechaun. It looked like a leprechaun. It was a really nice picture. I love the Hobbit, so it was like him as like with the Shire behind it. It was a nice fucking picture. And okay, so like all right, and he did and I'm like, all right, that's like entry level. But he's right. I started, I guess, because I posted that, and like, and me and him jawed back and forth when he was fighting Paul, because I was like, Paul, don't say shit to him. I will be the one to, so he can't get mad at you and use that as fuel, but he'll be mad at me, and we can still like get in his head kind of thing. But
right.
When it comes to fight, he can't like channel that at you, which, you know, psychological strategy is part of fighting, right? Like, and it's like, but then it kind of me and him are like, oh, cool. I love entertaining. I love talking shit. Cool. Now I get to really. So then I started posting pictures of me and him in sweatpants, because like my man does not have a lot. You know what? It's like I didn't want to say. I want to get down. All of a sudden, it was like
you're taking low blows, if you will.
Literally, exactly, literally. So like that. I'm like, hey, if you want to fuck with me about that, cool. We're gonna get fucking wild, bro. So I would post that stuff, and then he got pretty mad. He called Tim. Tim said I'm not gonna say that stuff. He called the promotion and was very upset. And the promotion was like, listen, you know who you're fucking with. Like Rich talks a lot of shit. You're the one who's opened it up to that level. Like that's on you. Like if you can't deal with it, fucking address it.
Well, that was the reason. Like I was so shocked was because like me and you have had a back and forth before.
Yeah.
We've had quite a few back and forths that got like very like elevated, I would say. But like it always came back to like a normal level.
Well, there's respect there. You're making a point. I'm making a point. Usually came out of the discussion where it's like, I understand you have a different point of view than me. Like, even though it can be emotional, you know, and we both lose our cool maybe a little bit. We're trying to get the point across. We're like, oh, but like, I like you as a person. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, and I would, you know, kind of remember that. Or I'm like, all right, you know, I know I can be a hothead, and so I'd bring it down and whatever. This is what I don't like is like, I guess it's not a parallel exactly to that, but like, but it is, but like, this is very simple. You got to fight me. Like, that's what we're trying to do. I'm not trying to fucking engage you in political discussion, John. I want to fight you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can really solve that problem really quickly by fighting. And then you backing out, you making excuses why you can't. So it makes me not like you more. And you like saying, I will never say I'm going to do something and not do it unless something happens where it's like, you know, it's like you keep saying you're going to do this and then not do it. Like that's not a real person to me. Like, I hate being like not a real man. I'm not going to be like misogynist, but like you're not a person of your word. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't like that. Where it's like you say this is a lot of people going to work, man. I've seen people really hurt from this stuff. I've been really hurt for this stuff. Tim's livelihood is based on this. This is what this dude does, and a lot of other promoters too. You backing out on them, you know what I'm saying? Like, costs them money. They put a lot of money in sponsors or promoting you, time. The people. This too is what I get. The biggest reason I get upset when I lose is I don't give a fuck, bro. Like I know I'm a 43-year-old man. I'm fucking chubby. I'm not athletic. I'm not the hardest worker in the gym. I work hard, but I'm not supposed to be an MMA fighter, man. I'm doing this because I love it, and I'm trying as hard as I can. But like, I'm fighting fucking studs. You know what I'm saying? Like these motherfuckers are killers. They're 30 years old. Kenny's 18. Like I'm not supposed to win. I can, and I believe I can. But I'm not like that upset. I'm upset because people spent $60 on a fucking ticket who I know, who I love, and they came to see me, to support me. And I want to give them a win because I know how much life can suck some days. And, you know, when your football team wins, or that's fucking feels good. You are part of that, you know? And I want to give that to people. So when I can't deliver, it sucks. You know what I'm saying? That's what hurts me. And I'm like, yo, what made me mad is like the second time he pulled out with Odin, people were like kind of turned on him. And he was like, fuck you people. You're complaining about, because they're like, yeah, we bought tickets to see you. You just didn't show up. Like, that's fucked, bro. Like, these people, like, that's $60 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you got with bills nowadays and everything coming up, like $60, that's your entertainment money for fucking 2 weeks, maybe.
It's funny you put it that way because like as press, like I kind of show up and I just write about the event and I don't really put a lot of thought into it because like I'm not often not paying for the tickets.
Yeah.
If I am paying for the ticket, I'm still like focused on all the fighters, not just a single fighter.
True, but
there's a lot of people in the crowd who are specifically there to see Cloudhammer, who are specifically there to see Flansburgh, who are specifically there to see El Shaddai.
Yeah.
You know, these other big names who like, you know, who have created a decent community around them. You know, so when you don't show up, that is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
That,
and like, think about, I mean, the casino can fucking burn. I fuck them. I don't like them, but like, they put money into us. They give us a venue. They're spending money. They're, you know, like, and they're making their money. But like this is Tim, Don Walton, Rex, you know, and Andre and fucking, oh my God, I can't think of his fucking name. Mike Culp, Bobby Woodlock. Like they're putting their stuff to make this promotion happen. Their time, their energy, their effort, all the moving parts, Jules, you know, the fucking make all this stuff. The press, you guys are there to cover this every part. And you don't show up, bro. If you don't show up, the talent's not there. What the fuck is the show? And it's like, that's all you got to do. And like, my thing is this is like, bro, Kenny, I fucking knew Kenny's going to fucking murder me. Made that walk. What's the worst gonna happen, bro? Like, he fucks me up. Like, Dan Mergliata's there to protect my life. Keith, Laszlo, you know what I'm saying? Like Ed Kenner.
Yeah.
Like, so like, I'm not gonna fucking die. Like, I know what I'm fucking in for. Like, it's, you know, show up and take the fucking beating and then leave. It's going to go better for you. Now it's like you don't show up twice in a row. So he's banned. He's banned from Cage Wars. He's banned from fucking USMTA. But Daddy's got that kind of power where, listen, I'm half joking, but like me and him can sell. That's going to be a big show. If you put us on that card.
Will take that fight.
What's that?
One of the promoters in the area.
I wouldn't fight for anybody else right now but Cage Wars. Like they've done. I don't want to do any more fights. Like if I were to do that, they've done a lot for me. Like so.
Would you do supers for another organization, or is it just MMA?
Like grappling, you mean?
Well, yeah.
I would do grappling matches if I think I might afterwards maybe do that. Like, but I'm not. I got to get better. I got to get my grappling back where it was because at one point in time I was fucking, you know, whatever. The last fight kind of frustrated me because I didn't show my grappling as much. You know, like I did everything right. I don't know if you watched my fight with Niles. Like I did everything right. He just kept his hips where they needed to be, and I couldn't fucking escape. So like I gotta get back to grappling hard like I used to. You know what I'm saying? Like I caught a little. I knew I was a better grappler than most people. I guess not to say I've done more jiu-jitsu than fucking half the MMA fighters together. I want to say that. You know what I mean? Like, and I say that not in a cocky way. I'm not. They could be better at me with less jiu-jitsu. I'm just saying I've done a lot. I've done years of purple belt. Most of these guys are white belts. I'm not saying I'm better grapplers than all of them. I don't mean it that way. I'm just saying I've done so much where I'm like, it's going to take a fucking.
Be able to put out more.
Yeah. I mean by like it's going to take a really good grappler to fucking. But Niles is a good grappler. He fucking did everything right.
Have you thought about trying to put together a fight with someone closer to your age range? Maybe someone like Alisi or
Alisi is fucking 80 pounds heavy. That guy would fucking smoke me, bro. He's like,
know.
oh yeah, and I'm saying no, Mike is.
Anyway.
I think he's even at his lightweight. No, I wouldn't know. Okay, add him to the fucking Isaiah. Add him to the Isaiah Sakiel. Fuck, I love Mike, but like I ain't fucking that motherfucker, dude. He's no, his and also his jiu-jitsu's. I'm lazy. He's tried to train with me. I don't want to say he's tried to train me like it's a special thing. He's offered to have me come train with him.
He's branched out into the community.
Yeah, so I've been like I don't want to go. He's offered for me to come train with him before fights, and it's just the distance where like I'm like I know I'm not gonna be able to reliably make that. You know what I mean? Like I'm a fucking certain times, especially when it's cold, it's hard to get me out of the house. You know what I mean? So like, but I would like to, but there's really I'll be honest with you, like 3/4 to that last fight camp, my love just left. Like I kind of say with like Forrest Gump when he's running, when he's like whenever he's running across the country, he's run back and forth, all of a sudden he's just like stops, like oh he's gonna talk, and I'm like I'm going home. Like that's how 3/4 of this fight camp, I'm just like I think I was sparring with Lou, or not even sparring, we were doing like heavy takedown grappling for like I think 20 minutes, just like try to take each other down. Once you hit the mat, reset. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Lou's a monster. Lou, you know what I mean?
Louis Melendez.
Louis, yeah, Lou Melendez.
Okay.
He's a fucking absolute monster. One of my best friends. Absolutely fucking love him. And it's just like so much. It just like I could do it sometimes. Like one, it was like fucking 9 takedowns to 1, but it was just like, man, I'm holding turbo, taking everything I have to take him down once, and he's going through the motions. You know what I mean? Like where, and I just was like, and not that usually I used to love that. Like, I'm like, cool, fucking bring that. This is where I get better. I'm just like, I don't love this anymore. Like I did, like the grind. You know what I mean? Like I'll fight anybody, almost anybody. I love that fighting, but like I don't appreciate the grind. And I feel like you're not doing the sport, the fans, yourself, your opponent, the service unless you fucking love it. Does that make sense? Like
No, it does because I think that's where my transition into more media opposed to competition happened. Like I was doing a little bit of supers, I was doing more and more tournaments. And at a certain point, like I'm watching some of my teammates, they're really excelling. I'm turning 30, and I start like coming to the conclusion, like this is the point where like I need to start properly planning and start properly addressing certain things.
Yeah.
And I realized like I don't have that dog to compete like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, we're gonna make the transition. We're not gonna fight it. We're just gonna make it seamless and smooth instead of being like, fighting the inevitable.
That's literally it. Like when I see what these guys are doing at fucking like I walk into class and I see like Bryce Ward, fucking Crable, Hayden, Paul, the fucking Barros brothers, fucking Nate Lopez, fucking everybody. I'm missing people I know, but like everybody, even fucking I'm gonna give Kev Mack a fucking shout out. Like these, and I'm like watching them with Fashad, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I don't have. I just watch them. I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like it's just hard on my body right now. I'm like. I fucking went to Nash's school up in Clifton Park last week, and I'm like, how am I going to train? I'm going to take a fucking video and make a joke I'm training. And I'm like, I'm going to get out of here. But I'm like, I just don't have that. But like, there's also, like you asked me what gets me in the cage. There's an ego part that won't go away that I love fighting. And so it's hard to walk away from that, man. Like you have a lot of people. There's not a lot of times in your life where you can walk out and have a couple thousand people cheering for you. And I was never an athlete in high school. I don't have a lot. It's really nice to fucking feel that. And it's hard to walk away from. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't imagine what it's like being a really good like UFC person or anything, and then having that fade due to age, just whatever, and pass you by like a musician, even rock star, and you're fucking one hit wonder. So you're fucking and then Allison's got like that sucks. And that's why I feel a little bit of that where I'm like, listen, and I've always said this too. And I'm sorry to fucking ramble, monopolize, but like, I'm a pretty well-rounded person. Like I was saying before, I consider myself more an adventurer of like, I want to try different things. Like, I want to get into stand-up comedy. Liz bought me fencing lessons. Like, I want to try fencing. I want to try, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like,
where we going fencing?
What's up? You want to try it?
Where are we going?
In Troy. There's a club in Troy. And like, I want to try different things. Like, I just wish I wish I could live 1,000 lives. There's just so much out there that like, I want to try. And but
following MMA, what's the next big grand adventure for you then, besides fencing? But like
stand-up comedy. I want to do one stand-up comedy show to get that out of my system. I always wanted to do like a stand-up set, and that's like I'm more afraid of doing that than like fighting. Like I'll go fight anybody in front of fucking underwear in front of 1,000 people, do that, whatever. stand up is like more personal because I want to be good at that like so bad. And I don't know, but like so that I kind of want to get. I don't know. I did commentary for the kickboxing fights over the summer.
There was a battle on Broadway, right?
Yeah, and that was really fun. I would like to do maybe commentary again. I would like maybe to be like a ring announcer. I think that could be really fun. You know, I want to get involved, like you said, in media or something. We did with me and Nels do our podcast here and there, but we don't really getting our schedules lined up now is hard. And we don't look at, man, you've been doing it less than us, and yours look so much more fancy than ours, man. It's fucking crazy.
Oh, like well, you know, I've been getting a couple different compliments, but I mean, all of this is just sitting in front of the computer, trying to figure it out, putting things together, seeing what works, and throwing away what doesn't.
Yeah, that's ambition, man. That's fucking awesome. My fucking thing, I just show up and fucking on edibles and fucking talk until I fall asleep. So like, you're already one step above me. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, the boys too. I have 3 boys and she has 2 kids. So their evolution of like what their hobbies are, I'm trying to be more vested in that. And you know, like it's their time to shine. Like they're hitting like the preteens age. The one is really into lacrosse. The little one wants to do wrestling. The 2 of them express interest in kickboxing and jiu-jitsu again. So I'm going to bring them down, and maybe that'll get me back into loving it again. But I don't know, man. Like I'm focusing on work, out of promotional work. I do HVAC design. So like they're teaching me how to more the engineering aspects of that, which before I was just more in sales. So like that's kind of a focus. I have 1 million dogs. She's really into dog rescue. We bought property, so we're trying to get a dog rescue up and running.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like I mean, just like it's sad, man. You see people out there, like there's so many fucking dogs in these homes. They're good, fucking sweet dogs. It's just like people just throw them to the side. And it's like that's fucked. We have 5 dogs now. Like I mean, it's fucking crazy, dude. Like and a parrot, a fucking bearded dragon, an axolotl, beta fish. Like it's just I love animals.
They're a lot easier to deal with than certain people.
Dude, I'm so that's the biggest thing. But talk about culture is like I try to be a very nice person. I'm a complete asshole. But I try in public to be like, I'm a big society person. I think humans we're better because we're learned how to be in a pack, so to speak, a society, like a fucking intelligent, I don't say intelligent, theoretically thinking answer bees. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like that's, but like the problem is, I can get a little political here, like where we get too theoretical, which like the super far left is. It's like, well, we should be like this. Yeah, 100%, but we're also fighting against the fucking instincts of us to be who we are. You know what I mean? So with the theoretics are good, but if you look at how we've solved problems for the past 200,000 years, violence, war, we can't just stop that. We need to harness it. You know what I'm saying? And like, and that's why I love this stuff, like jiu-jitsu and stuff. I think it's part of us. If we don't learn how to harness that part of it, it comes out in people who don't know how to fight. It's stewards, but they act like fucking assholes. They don't get that part. So they think like, oh, I'm going to be rude to this person because they can't, you know, that's their sparring session, being mean to a cashier or whatever, because they don't know how to. They're frustrated.
Funny you say this because like I've said something very similar. So you know about chimpanzees at all?
Somewhat. I mean, I don't know.
All right, so this seems a little bit off, but chimpanzees are from my understanding are one of our closest like primal ancestors. Chimpanzees start wars with each other all the time.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Chimpanzees start wars with gorillas, which will share their land with the chimpanzees, but they'll still start the war with the gorilla for no reason.
Yeah, not a smart fucking move.
And back to the human thing. So like we are culturally inclined to be start wars or start fights, but moreover, back to the pack mentality thing. I remember reading a study a while back that talked about the humans and how we used to function, and one of the things they said was like, if you look at humans, we can run the longest. We have the longest running distance out of any land mammal, any of them. We can't run the fastest, but we can run the damn longest. Was it 200 miles or something almost? So there's a prevailing theory that like, because we live in societies that we were a pack animal. As a pack animal, we would chase our prey because like we don't have claws, we don't have
so they dropped to exhaustion.
Yep. So we would not even that, we would outrun it till like it started slowing down, and eventually like those alphas, the head of the pack or head of the human pack would catch up eventually, and that's where the grappling starts coming in, and you'd start bludgeoning the animal, you'd start beating it, whatever you had, and eventually the other pack would catch up, and then you would start doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Zergs.
I mean, it
Zerging.
plays to what you're saying, but like there's scientific backing to all that.
So there's kind of combat with that. They're not combat. Add on. Like I read a thing a long time ago, and I'm gonna get the numbers completely wrong. I'm just gonna make them up for the sheer sake of argument. And this stuck with me for like years. Humans are only wired to really hold on to like 39 social interactions, or like social what's not the word, not interactions, relations. Strong.
I thought it was 150 people or something like that.
Maybe some. Okay, whatever the. I'm just as I'm saying. I don't know the exact number.
Something similar to what you're talking about.
But exactly. So it's like whatever it is, right? Now, if you think about that, our brain, fucking primal brain, even if I never met you and we had this conversation, it is interpreting this as interaction, right? Not the 150 closest people to me. So TV, I'm watching TV. I'm seeing 10 characters on screen. That's 10 more. I'm watching an ad pop up. I'm in Hannaford. I see probably 80 people just through my thing. Not that I'm socially interacting with them, but like, do you understand what I'm saying? Where like it's still drops of interaction.
Yep.
So back in the day, we lived in like a society, even let's just say like a fucking Native American longhouse type thing. They go to a village, probably 200 people, 300 people. I don't remember exactly how that worked, but right. So you don't need to interact with every person in there, but you can kind of roughly interact with that many and maintain sanity and a strong social. Now we're interacting with thousands over our lifetime. You know, even just watching TV, it's different people, and I think our brains misinterpret that and kind of get stressed out and frazzled, which is another thing of like another stressor on us pulling away from our, like I said, our primal selves. Does that make sense? And like,
no, it does, because I don't know if you know any ancient Greek philosophers, but Plato often criticized the arts, specifically poetry and theater, because it would, in his arguments, would warp the human emotion. It would play on these things that are not real, and it would make you think or feel things that were not based in reality.
So I have a theory with that, with like therapy, because I went to therapy and it's awesome. I strongly recommend therapy, like for people with, if you have issues, helped me immensely, right? And it kind of goes with Eastern culture. Therapy is like an antibiotic, so to speak, right? That's the way I can describe it. You take it till it's needed, right? Then you leave and you let you take the antibiotic and whatever. Then you let once it's weak enough, your system fights it on its own and you heal. I think people dwell in their issues and let them affect you, and you think about them too much, even in therapy, where it's like, oh man, like this is the reason I'm like this. This is so sad. I'm an advocate for therapy and mental health. I'm saying, but like, I think we have a tendency to like dwell in it instead of pushing through sometimes and using it as, oh, this is why I'm like this. Like, oh, I'm a fucking Capricorn and fucking solstice. Like that kind of shit too. You know what I mean? Where it's like, bro, shut the fuck up, just be you. And I'm I lean to the left a little bit, but I also feel that we try to break down and identify ourselves with certain things too much.
I know.
Where it's like,
I know exactly what you mean.
Where I'm like, you don't need to categorize yourself. You do sometimes to be like, hey, listen, this is, but like at the same time, I'm like, yo, like I'm just gonna use this
you
example.
Can't put yourself in that box.
Because then it's like that's what you're looking for. You're trying to be that. And like I paint my toenails. If you see my fights, my toenails are fucking painted. You know me pretty well. I act like an idiot. So I say dumb shit. I say smart shit. I'm like every day. I'm just like I'm never like I'm feeling. I can be a baby. I cry after my fights. I'm completely tattooed. Like I just try to be who I am. I'm not like trying to. I'm just like, oh, this is what I feel like today, and this is what I'm gonna do. People are like, oh, I want to be known as this. I want to be known as this. Bro, why? Because what if tomorrow you don't feel that way, but you still, you know what I mean? Like, just be you, and just expect people to like you for you or not like you for you. I don't know. I can go. We're on so many tangents. I'm so apologies. That's what I was saying about the Stewart's microaggression thing. But people like they don't have this outlet for like a combat sport or anything or any kind of, and they'll
makes
just
sense because like on a personal level, people have a desire to, I feel like, be validated in how they view themselves, or being validated as a person, I guess would be a better phrase.
Yeah.
Like men in specific, I feel like have an inherent desire to feel like they're being valued in the job that they're doing. Like, I recently had this conversation with my boss. Like, I know he appreciates what I do, but sometimes it'd be fucking nice to hear it, you know? And I know it's like super fucking stupid, but when you're getting berated every day and you're trying to take care of someone else's business.
Are you working a
your own business.
customer facing position?
Sometimes
Yeah,
it's
yeah. I'm just
back of
wondering.
the house, front of the house. You know where I work, so
Oh, that's
um
right. Yeah.
so like at the end of the day, like sometimes like you just want to know that what you're doing has some kind of value in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, like to your point, people put their personality or how they view themselves or certain things at the forefront, and when it's not validated, it crushes them. Like the MMA thing, like you want to be able to be seen as a capable, man. So like not showing up to that fight, not, performing well, that hurts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people, I think like Flansburgh are able to kind of push it aside because they don't understand that value, because they haven't actually felt that real value from that.
And you know what? Like that's why sometimes I try to pull back because I remember he's a 22-year-old kid, and that's not a lot of life experience. But I think just reading how he talks on Facebook and stuff before I was blocked.
In what, 1944?
I'm not that old, bro.
I know, but 18-year-olds were going overseas, and they were fighting in a world war that they were not responsible for, but they took responsibility for. And this, I think, back to what you were saying earlier in the podcast, and kind of how I feel intrinsically, is like a lot of people in this society have lost a sense of responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
They think that you can shake these inherent responsibilities, not even when I say inherent responsibilities, things that you're born with that are things that naturally will make you happy, taking care of your family,
primal drivers, like exactly, they're the driver, exactly. Then and it's like
success in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
These things are intrinsic things that make you happy. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't defend yourself, you can't take care of your family. As a man, I can guarantee you're almost going to be depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like people aren't taught this, that you're taught that it's okay to be, subpar. It's okay to, shake that responsibility. It's okay to pretend like that incident didn't happen. It's okay to call the other. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I would agree with you and say I think the problem is like the pendulum swings too far. Where like in like the generation that raised me, which I want to touch on something we said earlier, which I'll get in a second, where like they were too harsh and too out of their feelings and just like men don't cry. It's like, bro, like, whoa, then you fuck people up with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I think in times you need to have that mentality where like, bro, we don't got time for emotions. Get the shit done. But there's also time to explore. You have a right to fucking be, like I always, people make fun of me all the time. Like I cry fucking, like, after my fight, if you watch my last fight, at the end of the YouTube thing, I run to the left. I was like, fuck, I can't put that on camera because I went and fucking I cried because I was like, I'm not sad. I'm just mad that I'm like, man, I put so much fucking into this and I want this so bad. Why the fuck can't I make this click? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, it wasn't like I'm upset that I lost. It's just more like, what the fuck? Like the frustration of like, I tried so hard. I followed a game plan and it's just, I can't, everything is almost there and it's just not working. You know what I'm saying? That kind of frustration. Like Niles beat me. He deserved that win. You know what I'm saying?
You're not upset with the opponent. You're upset with yourself in that moment.
Yeah, and my own internal struggle and my process. And I was like, fuck, like, why the fuck? Like, and I'm like, there's a lot of reasons why. There's no excuses why. I just lost. And that's okay. Like, that's what I was saying before. I'm lucky where I'm not defined by this. It's something I like to do. And I appreciate the notoriety. And it's changed my life in a lot of good ways that I got at least good enough to do this, But it's like, my whole thing is like, hey, man, like, I like doing these cards because, like, people like watching me for some whatever fucking reason, right? It's cool. I love that feeling, but also I like bringing the attention to fucking people who really can fight, will be something. And I introduced a lot of people around here to Cage Wars. People didn't know what it was. I'm not saying a lot of demographics.
You have something that a lot of fighters don't have, and that's a lot of personality and a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And
I mean
that as a compliment because like I said, when I introduced you as a local celebrity, I mean that because like you go around and you ask people, Richard Cloudhammer, they know who you are. And it's never anything bad. It's just you're a socialite, you're in the community, you're active. You don't have to win fights. You just have to get people to love you.
Mm-hmm.
And you've done that in such an easy, I don't know, you've done it so easily that like it's almost like would you start 2-3 years ago?
Yeah,
And
for
like,
yeah.
and you've built up such a following in like
Which
such a
is
short amount of time.
thank you. It's crazy because like and it's surreal because like I value like one of my biggest accomplishments I said it on my show before, and I say it to people. What Matt might tear up for this is like people I respected and looked up to as fighters. Like they treat me as a peer, and people like the younger fighters are like they come and say like, "Wow, you're Richard Cloudhammer." I'm like, I'm fucking nobody, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but it's cool that like I earned respect in something that I revere. I hold like fighting it to me is so sacred. Like, and I see how much. You know how it is behind the scenes. You know how much work people put into this stuff and what it means. Not just coming into a cage, I'm a tough guy. No, man, there's so much work and so much, even politics and emotion and organizations and the network of people behind it. And like, it's just cool, man. Because I know it's just cool. Yeah, thank you very much. It's nice. Thanks, nice to say. I'm just so grateful to be in this position because I never thought I would be. And it's just really cool to like, so I look at it, what my job is at least if I could bring attention to this in a positive way to the people who deserve it, who are, I don't want to say real fighters, I'm not a real guys who are going to be something with this. You know what I mean? Like I just love doing it, man. Like, it's just like, I wish I could do it. I wish I got into it when I was younger, but at the time I wasn't mentally ready when I was younger to do this. And I got to remember that too. Like I said with John, like when I was 22, I'd be a complete dickhead. Like I was different. I was a different person, like, for better or worse. I was way more insecure. You know what I mean? Like I think my flaws would have been more exhibited because I wouldn't have understood the stuff more. So John, that's what like I try to work with. Just sometimes he says some fucking arrogant shit on Facebook. I'm like, bro, you don't even show up to fights. Like, how the fuck are you going to talk shit to people? Like, or you think, and he says, bro, so I was trying to talk to him to do this last fight. He's like, how my management team get your management team, bro? Like, you don't have a management team. Stop. And then he did have this kid reach out to me. He's a nice kid, Isaiah something. I'm like, bro, what? You're 19. You're not managing shit. Like, but I'm like, whatever. Just get the fucking guy to fight. Whatever. And it's like, just fight. It's not that hard. Like, and that's the thing is like, so February 7th, like they want me to fight him. And there's a part of me, the ego says yes. The id says no. Like if, because like my ego's like, I want to fucking put hands on this kid. The id says, I don't really love this. I've accomplished what I wanted.
Do you think you could fight him without putting the full heart into it?
Yes, yeah, because I'm a fucking dude. So it's funny because like I like now I'll fight my mom. I always say that, like I'll joke around with that. Like I don't fucking care. A fight's a fight. Like I have no problem hitting anybody in the face, right? Like I could, 100%. But the thing is, why do I want to make like 5 weeks of my life miserable? Training, dieting. It's a stress. I don't care who I'm fighting. You know what I mean? It's stress. It's a stressor. Knowing I don't care if it's a dentist appointment. Like, I'm an ADHD, so like a 3 o'clock dentist appointment stresses me the fuck out from the morning of. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I have to, my whole day is like with that. So it's like I now have something to do I have to do something in 5 weeks. Whatever. It's not. I don't care if that kid beats me. Fucking cool. Like it's just a fight. Like, cool. He's a better fighter than me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. Like that's just one part of who I am as a person. Like it would hurt. Yeah, I'd be disappointed. I'd be sad. You know what I'm saying? But like. But it's like it's not going to affect my life forever. You know what I'm saying? Like now,
I mean, you could honestly probably throw down on that fight and probably half-ass it and not have to worry because like chances are he's going to pull out.
That's what I'm saying too. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, why am I my kids? It's holiday season. Liz, my girl, she's stressed. It's a stress on her because then like when I'm training, she's watching the kids all the time. Watching the $5 like. It's unfair. And then she has to deal with me being grumpy towards the last 2 weeks when I'm fucking cutting, like real cutting weight. So it's like, why am I going to do this for a dude who hasn't showed up? What?
Does he do jiu-jitsu?
He goes to Powerhouse MMA where I was told their training mat is tires with plywood on top of it. So like, who fucking knows, bro, what goes on out there? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I was going to say, why don't we try and set you up with a jiu-jitsu super fight? The two of you.
Because even then, it's a training thing. I still train. I take it seriously.
Yeah, but it'd be less of a commitment at that point.
True, but at the same time, I'd have to cut weight. It's going to be listen. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I want to get if I'm doing that, if I'm filming for a penny, I'm in for a pound. If I'm,
fair enough.
like I'm and I would do that. You know what I mean? Like, but I think I have the advantage. I don't know. I think like Paul said it today. He's like, what the fuck are you stressed about? You can not train from here to then, and fucking you'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like, but. I do want to take it seriously just because, like Conor McGregor said, as controversial as he is, the only time I ever get nervous for a fight is if I know I didn't train enough, type of thing. Yeah, I'm paraphrasing here. He said it's something
Right.
different, but like that just was a life-changing thing where I'm like, yeah, why am I nervous? Because that means I left something behind. I didn't open every door. I didn't check under every fucking rock. You know what I mean? Like I did do the right thing. So if I fucking train like with Niles, I knew I'd fucking put it out there every fucking minute. So I wasn't nervous. I was a little bit. Actually, this was the first fight I'm nervous, and big shout out to fucking Paul LaFon, because like I usually don't get in my own head, and he could tell I was starting to, and he gave me this fucking meditation thing to listen to back there, and fucking it just got me in the right headspace, because like I don't know, it was weird. I never felt that feeling before a fight, and it was just like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? That's why, like I said, I'm just not into this like I was. But Paul really saved that fight. But like, I'm sorry if I'm kind of going on another tangent, but with the John thing, like I would like to, and I think I would. It just makes me really nervous if he doesn't show up or backs out. And it's like, bro, like, what are we doing? And then the other thing too is like, why am I giving this guy fucking time? Like, I'm the fucking show. Like, to be arrogant, like nobody's coming to see you. You'll get 3 people fucking riding a fucking horse and buggy from fucking Gloversville to fucking from. You know, no, I'm joking. I'm being an asshole, but you know what I mean. These are like I like Gloversville. I want to buy a house there, so fucking whatever.
Fuck Gloversville.
But like I'm just saying, like, I like the area. There's some really good people out there that I've met. Fucking Sterling, Mike Peters, fucking Brian Betts, fucking John Salmons, fucking all you guys, fucking cool people. Where the fuck am I going with this? You need me, man. Like I people are coming to see.
No. He doesn't pull in anything. He doesn't hide anything. It kind of feels like it's one of those things for you that if it was serious, you'd be down, but you know it's not serious.
And he'll talk shit. That's the thing. I gave him the chance last time, but you should have seen I was very nice to him, very respectful. I posted all the messages, and he wouldn't commit. Came up with a million different excuses. I got to fight at 170. I'm like, bro, you mean you're both are making 170? Get out of here. I said 185. I'll do that. No, I can't. Then a week later, I'm on 220. I can't make it. Okay, I'm 205. Bro, I'll fight 220. I walk around 215. That's now I'm fat 222. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you want, I'll do. Fucking. And he's like, he kept making excuses. Then as soon as I committed to somebody else, he fucking. Oh, I thought I had a fight. Cloudhammer pulled out, and I was like, bro, why? And that's the thing. I was nice. Why do you got to do that? And then I sent him a message. I said, listen. I'm not going to start drama with this. Just fucking leave. So before I said, it was before he posted that. I said, cool. If you don't want to fight, bro, totally cool. I'm totally okay with that. Just don't mention me ever again. Like, and that's totally cool. Cause he called me on El Shaddai's podcast the day before he was supposed to fight Odin, didn't show up to the fight. So I'm like, why are you even bringing me into this, bro? I haven't talked about you in months. Like, you keep bringing me up.
Yeah, El Shaddai had him on the podcast.
It was a Cage Wars podcast. Like El Shaddai was at the fights in July, the night before he was supposed to fight Odin. And he interviewed him, and first out of his thing in his mouth was like, "Where the fuck's Cloudhammer? I'll fight him next." And I'm like, "Bro, why are you bringing me up?" You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even fucking. I know why you're bringing me up because I'm the fucking man. I'm cool, but like, you're not. Like, you gotta. But like,
the fact that the first person that he thinks of though is like, no offense, but like, there's a lot younger people in the MMA.
That's what I said.
Why is he picking a fight with you?
Bro, I'm like Tyson. I'll do the Tyson Fury. I'll pick out a guy with a fucking belly. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm a fucking 43 fat, not even training hardcore at this time. Like, you know, whatever. I'm like, I'm not losing record. Like, you're choosing me to call out because you know why? Because you need that.
You bring a show,
and he needs that to try to. Because like so I'm gonna be mask off, no fucking whatever. I'm gonna really say I really think the kid. I've said this before, so it's not really there. I think this is the only source of validation he gets in life. He's overweight, vertically challenged, not a socioeconomic rough patch out there. We'll say that.
Looks like a cabbage patch.
Looks like a cabbage. Yeah, I'm trying to keep this like, you know. So this was the first time he felt, which I get. First time he felt a ton of love. He got to be somebody. People respected him. People, right?
Well, to be fair, the first fight he did was admirable. I mean, he wasn't doing great.
Bro, Daniel trains us now. That big kid he fought trains us now. That dude hits like a fucking truck. He gave me like a fucking mild concussion. Like what training? Like he's a tough kid. He trained for 1 month for that fight. Like he was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And John did awesome. Like he took him down. That was amazing. What happened was he thought he was Conor McGregor and could be the asshole. Bro, you don't got it. You're the fucking fun underdog. But even after the second fight, he got into his own head where he's the fucking man, talking shit people. he like you're Roy Nelson. You're not Conor McGregor, bro. People like you because you're the underdog. They wanted to see you fucking.
He's not even that. He's what's the guy who fought Sean O'Malley? Chris.
Oh my God, the zombie.
Chris.
I'm friends with him on Instagram. The zombie guy.
I have him on Facebook.
I took him off Instagram
on a podcast.
He seemed a cool guy. Perino, no. But anyway, yeah, exactly. But I was just using Roy Nelson as like the guy who could fight, who could fucking fight like a little bit. And John has decent grappling to control, but I'm trying not to talk shit about him because like, but it's like he got a little arrogant from that, and that's what happened. He tried to be Conor McGregor, talking shit about people, and then he lost that luster. You could have been the same thing I am. Just been a happy-go-lucky guy. Go fucking 2-10. Who fucking cares? People fucking will eat it up, bro. Because they just want to see you fight.
Well, that's funny. Is like you have two different dynamics of the fight community. Like or I guess three. You have the people like Flansburgh here who have one win on record. Rest of drop out. Oh yes,
two wins, 2 losses, and then 3.
You're nicer than I am because I thought it was 1.
Two, yeah.
But like you have a minimal record, and here you are talking shit to the entire community. He's talking shit to you. He's talking shit to everyone else. And then you have people like you who are like big supporters. You know, love talking to everyone. You've brought people into the community, and then you have the people in the middle who are trying to find their personality.
Yeah.
You know,
you have the people, the fucking workers. I mean workers, not like the wrestling term. I mean like the guys who. The fucking real fucking fighters who are training fucking the Kenny Correas who are like and they're finding their personality to find their shit.
So do you have any advice for any fighters trying to find their personality or trying to find their voice in the community?
100%. This is I tell my guys this. I wanted to run a class on this. Not that I know I'm a fucking whatever, but like what always worked for me is be who you don't fake it. You have to be who you are, right? If you fake it, you come across, I don't know if this is going to translate well, John Jones and Colby Covington. They're fake. They're not their real personality. So when John's this nice guy, oh, thank God, I just can't believe like that fake smile. It's not him. You lead into being the bad guy. You're good at that. When he's off camera with DC, hey, pussy, you still there? That's what I like. Be the bad guy. That's who you are. You know what I'm saying? That sells. The fake shit, nobody really buys into it. John's just so good. Colby Covington. That's not him. He's not a bad guy. I've seen him off camera. Like, he's really nice to people and really nice to, you know what I'm saying? Kobe, but he did it because, like, that did sell in a way, but then everybody hates you. Like, that's what's happening with John. Now people want to see you lose, and it kind of works, but it's not what you want, unless it's your last-ditch effort, because then everybody hates you. Let me finish so I can really explain. Find who you are and make a caricature out of that. Lean into it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, and have fun. Does that make sense? Yeah, exactly. Richard, I am a bad guy. That's so funny too, because like I am a kind of a jerk. I'm not a nice guy. Like I'm Kate Button said it. I'm a good person. But I'm a fucking dickhead. Like I'm not really. You know me very. You know me. I'm kind of a jerk.
I resonate with the message you're trying to send because like I do a lot of good things.
Yeah.
But then I say a lot of fucking assholes.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, but I'm like, I try to be a good person in society. I said before, society is very, I love Jordan Turner. This guy's one of the fucking greatest people ever. Society does not work without all of us in coherence. Does that make sense? Like, and that's why, even if I'm a jerk and I hate most people, if I see you on the side of the road, I'm going to try to help you change your fucking tire because that needs to happen. I could fucking hate you and think you're a horrible person. I'm going to try to help you because that's just how this works. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just the right thing to do.
It's just the right thing to do. It just doesn't work. Like, because it's like, I know if that was me or my mother or my girlfriend or my daughter, I want somebody to help them. You know what I mean? Like, that's how this works. Like,
a lot more people could actually adhere to, like, I feel like everyone has that inherent sense to do the right thing.
Yeah. I'm going to call you a cunt. Like, I'm going to call you a fucking, if you don't put your card away, I fucking hate you. Like, I would fight you over that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't put your card away in the fucking supermarket, that's my biggest pet peeve in the world. Because
that's because that's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing, and it fucks everybody else over. Like, I hate that. But like, and I'll say mean things to people, and I'll call old people fucking assholes because they walk too slow in front of me, whatever. But like, I'll help. I don't know how to say this. Let me go back to the original thing.
No, it's because you follow what the right thing to do is, and it doesn't matter what the situation is. You see someone being an asshole, you got to call it out, and that makes you an asshole.
Oh, I said,
it was the right thing to do.
I thought I said, I'm like, I'm going to get stabbed in a parking lot over a shopping cart one day. Like, that's how I'm going to die. I'm going to get shot or stabbed. Like, I know it. Because, like, I feel like I'm like, this is so arrogant. I've said it before. I am Batman of social etiquette. Like, nobody likes to say things. I'll be the asshole. Like, if somebody butts in line or something.
Mask to just keep in your pocket.
Exactly. But I'm like, I
take part away.
Literally, like, the cart narc guy is one of the funniest things ever because it's like, it's awesome. See how people get so mad at it because they're embarrassed because they're caught out over something. So that's what I think is possible is we lost the ability to call people out over like social nicety. So people even call it, I'm going to be nice and say it's ignorant. They don't even know they're doing the wrong thing, but nobody's calling them out on it. Right? Like, I watch my dogs. I have 5 dogs. If one oversteps bounds, the other one goes snarl or snap. Okay, I'm going too far. It's not. It's just like, hey, chill the fuck out. Like, I call people out about dumb shit. Anyway, let me rewind.
No. People forgot that little bit of
consequences are out there. People forget about that. So,
well, not even that. Just a little conflict is healthy. Yeah, it breeds resolution.
Exactly. But to let's go back to the. Let me get a snippet here. To your if you want to find your personality and like sell tickets and be part of a show, you don't have to be a show. Just make it fun. Show a little bit of who you are. If you don't like, I'm going to use an example, and I mean this in the most positive way. Hayden Speckhart did not talk. Hayden's an amazing fighter. He was a champion. I think he was 135 champion before he vacated the belt. He has a great personality, but he's very quiet and shy. It took him years. If you watch him now, he's leaning into that. Like, he's not like trying to be like me out there or somebody wave, but you see him make little sly things, like real fun. He'll wear a fun shirt at the last one. You know what I mean? Like, he's fun. He's letting his personality show through, and he's just genuine. That's the biggest thing I can say is be genuine, but lean into it. Okay. Think about what you want to see, like on, be who you are, but embellish it a little bit, like a caricature on the boardwalk when they draw your face. Like, if I have a big nose, they make it blocky. My eyes look a little Asian sometimes when I smile, so they make that happen on the court. That's what they do. Like, so it's like that's your personality. Do that, Don't be fake. Like, look at El Shaddai. He's real as fuck. He is who he is. But when he's in front of the camera, like on the microphone, he just turns it up to 11 with the fur coat, the fucking saying wild. He always says wild shit, but. That's why, and he's genuine. He is who he is. And that's a motherfucker who's a real good person. Like, that's a good person. Like, he gives back a lot. And that's the thing too, is just be good. And that resonates with people. Like, John could be the same way, bro. You're a plucky underdog. Embrace that. Be fun. People loved you for a reason. Because when he jumped at the end of that first fight, when he won, that was genuine, man. Like, people, that's fucking awesome. Like, hell fucking yeah, man. But then you started becoming an asshole about things, and like, it's like, dude, nobody wants to root for you like that. When Connor's an asshole, I root for him because that's who he is. That dude thinks he's the fucking greatest thing in the fucking world, and at the time he was. When he was, you know what I mean? But like, there was still a genuine niceness to him at times too. When he was, because he worked hard and you believed it. Now he kind of went off the deep end because of drugs, but like at the same time, there was a part where like that dude was like, just to see how much work he put in. He really did put that work in and believed in himself, and I don't know, like, self-belief is awesome. You can't let it ruin you. But I'm sorry, I'm rambling now. But
no, you're good. You're good. Like, I think that's some quality insight into. I do find it. I find for certain people, it can be a little difficult to be open, though, especially in kind of hundreds, 500 people, depending on the event.
So I look at it this way, man. Fighting is. People misunderstand when I said this before. It was really funny. I was at a work party. I said this, and they're like, "Yeah, I get it," because you're like guy in your underwear. I'm like, no, it's not even at all. I'm like, fighting is like sex. You're completely bare to another person. There's no hiding behind. Even jiu-jitsu. Like, the mats don't lie is a saying. You've heard that. I can talk. I'm a bad motherfucker. I get out there. I can't lie anymore. Am I a bad motherfucker? Am I not? I'm about to find out for myself if I don't know it. You know what I mean? Like, it's one way or the other, man. Everybody's about to see. And me especially, I wear the shorter shorts I fucking can out there. Right? I don't like the feeling of fucking fabric, right? Like, but like, I'm exposed already. I'm in my underwear fighting somebody. You know what I mean? Like, it's embarrassing if you lose. You get caught. You know what I mean? Like, or whatever. it's embarrassing because of the fucking ego, but it's not, because who cares? It's just competition.
But you have to be comfortable with being vulnerable in front of
Yeah.
a large group of people.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember like my first super,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt really like a fish out of water. But not to mention the fact that I was blitzed out of my mind. It was a Rolling Stones event.
Oh yeah.
You know, but you know, like having just a room full of people looking at the mat you're on.
Mm-hmm.
Never had that experience before. Like did Naga, did Grappling Industries. And yeah, there's a group of people around, but no one's really paying attention to just your mat.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like when you're doing a super, all eyes are on you. The same thing as an MMA fight. All eyes are on you. And
I love that. I kind of feed into that a little bit. Like I love
I feed into it too.
Yeah, I get nervous for a minute.
Fuck.
And as soon as I hear my music and I hear the crowd and look around, and I'm like, yeah, man. Like I would say the most comfortable I ever felt in my whole life. So I have borderline personality disorder, ADHD, all that kind of shit, anxiety. When that fucking like the cage closed behind me, I was expecting like, oh my fuck. I was like, oh, it was so peaceful. And I'm like, wow, this is it. It's a singular thing. There's only one way out of here. And it is fighting that fucking big motherfucker across the fucking ring. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. Like, that's the only way I'm getting out of here. So it really takes all the noise in my brain and just like, that's it, man. It was Paul, who's scary as fuck. And I'm like, that's it. It's fucking me or him. And this is it. You know what I mean?
It kind of unleashes that, going back to that primal discussion, it unleashes that primal instinct within you. I think jiu-jitsu does the same thing, kickboxing. Yeah. Yep. I find whenever I'm rolling or sparring, I can't think about anything else.
No,
because if I do, I'm getting tapped instantly.
Yeah, you're not breathing anymore.
Yeah,
exactly, man. And
I think I move the best when I stop thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that sounds stupid as fuck, but like if I stop thinking about the situation and just go with the situation, throw myself at it, I feel like you end up with much stronger results.
Well, that's what. So, like, I'm trying to think, like you said, kind of to touch back with this relates to like what's next after MMA. So, like, right now, what I do for the team is I kind of manage the fight. I am the interface between Jakao and the promoters. So I'll get our guys fights. Like, I kind of the matchmaker, not the exact, but like they propose matches to me and I accept them, and what guys are ready, whatever. And I work very closely with, obviously, Nels and Alan are focused on more of the whole business of the school and running the jiu-jitsu program, and Hakeem and Cody, Anna, and Hakeem Newkirk are running our MMA program, right? Hakeem's head coach, and Cody's assistant coach. So I work with them. Like, they give me the roster who's ready for fights, and I branch out. I reach out to different promotions across. I actually reach out to some in Tennessee to see about getting them down there, and Connecticut, stuff like that. But like, my goal is to kind of like use this experience to tell these guys, hey, listen, like these are things like that I've learned. You're gonna have to learn for yourself, because I can tell how it is. I can tell you how this is going to be. You're not going to understand it till you do it, right? That's how most humans are. But at least I can give you the little preface to like get you there. That's what a teacher kind of things like. This is the theoretical. Like, so like that was my 7th MMA fight. The last 2 are the only ones I can kind of tell you how I was thinking in there. Like, the whole time. Like, I was most of the time, like, so if you watch, I hit Niles with like a combo at the beginning. I wasn't thinking, but my body was reacting to how he was moving. You know what I'm saying? And it was like really crazy. But like, I made the conscious decision to like, all right, I'm going to strike. Then when I felt him blocking too much, I'm like, cool. Game plan, put him against the cage. And then, like you said, I'm not thinking reacting to his body, but I'm thinking of like, where do I want to take this next? Does that make sense? And like, you have to be very open to like the mix of the primal and the intellectual. And I try to tell the guys that, like, you got to take, dude, that's one thing. If I can stress to another fucking thing to any amateur MMA fighter who wants to fucking be really into this, fucking train all the time and take fights, because you cannot get comfortable. If you look at amateur boxers, man, they have hundreds of fights. Like, it takes a while to really find what the fuck you're good at. Like, I look at two of the best. I use these guys for examples all the fucking time. Kyle Kaler, remember him? Yeah. Kyle Kaler from MVMA and Al Morrow from MVMA. Their records, I think, are like 10-10 amateur, right? They're fucking 2 of the best amateurs ever to come out of Cage Wars. Their beginning records were not good. You know what I mean? It took them a while to find themselves. Cole Exanian, too, amazing pro fighter. His amateur record's not amazing. You know what I mean? Like, always was. Cole is one of the scariest people I've ever seen in my life. Great guy. Awesome, amazing fighter.
One of the most brutal fights I've ever seen.
Him and Sean Cloud, bro.
The first one I took my fiance to.
Sean Cloud.
Was Sean Cloud. And
first fight.
Pull up the video, but like it got lost.
Bro. I tried to tell somebody the other day, bro, that's the first fight I ever had to like watch through my eyes because like it was so fucking brutal.
That
like,
ended Sean. I don't know if you know this. That ended Sean's MMA career.
Yeah, yes, 100%. His eye was falling. I remember he was like, "Hey, does anybody know I have a job I can work from home?" It was like he made a post like 6 months later.
Yeah.
It was like my doctor's like, my eye, I can't have it. He has a plate or something and holding his eye.
Yeah,
And
no,
like,
if he gets shook or hit the wrong way, he could lose his vision. I actually know it's interesting as I have two boxing or had two boxing coaches who have both had the same condition from the same issue. Not, I mean, obviously not the same exact issue.
But orbital socket fracture. 100%. Dude, that's Sean's tough as fuck, and so is Cole. Man, that was one of the most brutal. And it sags. I've trained a little with Sean. He's been to our school because he trained with Kenny. He's from Atlas. Very talented guy. Very cool guy.
Yep.
But I like him a lot because he found his way. Like he's like a little world tour after and stuff. He it's like cool, man. Like this door closed.
I think he went for #1 in IBJJF brown belt. I don't know how close he got, but he got pretty close.
Yeah, he's a great guy and tough competitor. That sucks. That shit happens, but we all know that that's a risk. And I was like, fucking let go of the leg, bro. This ain't, you know what I mean? Like, but it's like that's a fucking warrior who's like, no, I'm winning. Like, you know what I mean? I'm winning. And Cole, the same thing. Like, I'll let my fucking knee get ripped in half. I'm breaking your fucking face. Like, and Sean was like, you can break my fucking face. I'm taking your fucking knee home. Like, that's fucking awesome. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, that was incredible.
He got up. He looked like Kratos out of God.
Bro, and he was like, that picture is so fucking I shared it the other day.
It's infamous. Even Cage War still shares it.
That's what I'm saying. Day. Yeah, it came my memories, but Cage War shared it right before me. So I'm like, I'm not going to share it, but because it was already out there. But I'm like, that was fucking amazing, man. That's why I love this sport, is because like I really believe, like I was saying before with the sexual analogy, like, but it's also like I've said this before in my podcast. I hate fucking repeating it, but mind, body, soul is, I truly believe, what we all boil down to. And I saw it spray painted. I was young. It was on an overpass on my way to Taekwondo when I was a kid. And I mind, period, body, period, soul, and lowercase levels in each screen. And I'm like, that stuck with me forever. And like, that's what a human is. That's the three fucking compartments you are. And, and that's what MMA fight represents. And I feel like I love some team sports and stuff, but that's why I like MMA or jiu-jitsu, because it really, any kind of combat sport, I'm going to put in that category. It's you versus another person. You have to have the mind of the knowledge of the technique, the soul of fucking this, to not give up, like those two. You know what I mean? Like fucking, they're like, fuck it. My body's screaming. You've been in that position. My body's telling me the whole fucking time, get the fuck out of here. This hurts. This sucks. This is stress. Stop. And you have to overcome that soul. And then body is just fucking, you got to be in physical shape to do this, and whatever. Like, that's why I love this, because it's just you versus somebody else. Putting on the line, and that's brave. That's honest. It's even Flansburgh, man. Like, I give him respect because he's done it multiple times. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a fucking hard thing to do, and that's why I feel bad when he doesn't show up, because it's like, bro, you've done this before. You know what I mean? Like, you can do it. Like, do it. So, and it's
So, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, man. I need to be.
We're coming up on an hour and 37 minutes, so I'm gonna start to cut this short.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good. Everything is beautiful, man. But with a parting message, I mean, there's a lot of, like you mentioned earlier, younger fighters who may look up to you. People who are getting into this sport, or even people about your age who might be considering getting into it. What parting advice would you give to these people if they're considering getting into the sport, if they're having that hesitation?
So, my parting advice to people: try ecstasy at least once in your life. 2, if you're thinking about trying it, I'm kind of always thought that, because like a long time ago I did that, and I'm like, everybody needs to feel this feeling of just pure love. Number 1.
We don't endorse drugs here.
I do. So 2, I think and that's kind of a joke, but like 2. If you're thinking about fighting and you're in shape and you're healthy and like you commit to it, don't just go in there like, I see red or I'm tough. Even if you do that, fucking do that, because that'll humble you real quick and realize, I don't care what color you see, fucking somebody's about to show you a fucking rainbow, because you're about to get fucked up, man. Like, because like there was a fight, very tough kid. He just fought last, Fabricio Barham, I think is how to say. He's a slap boxer, and he kind of mildly trained. He fought one of our guys, and Fabricio's a tough kid, hit really hard, whatever. And he started getting to work on DJ, who's a fucking awesome fighter at our, he started working him on the feet, and DJ transitioned to grappling. We're like, you can understand this more than anyone because you've trained grappling a long time. If you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you can get away with not knowing how to strike and be strong and catch somebody because you don't know what the fuck you're doing on the ground. It's like fucking being on ice skates for the first time, getting pushed down a fucking hill. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what the fuck, bro? You're not standing up. Like, you're falling, and you're not getting back up. Like, because, like, it's grappling is just so different. It's controlled. It's a really weird, your center balance. Let me paraphrase this, though, really quick. That guy did a great job, but he learned, now he's training hardcore because he has the athleticism and skill to do something with this. But what I'm bringing up is, if you can do this, commit to it. I think everybody should do it because it really teaches you a lot about yourself. And that's what I like, dudes like. That's what I could say a lot of it here, but like that Fabricio dude, I give him a lot of respect because tough guy. A lot of people take their loss and get the fuck out of here. And I see it in jiu-jitsu tournaments. They stop training jiu-jitsu because like they can't handle it. I lost my first jiu-jitsu tournament, and all I could think about was like, I got to do better. I got to learn that. Like I was doing well, then I lost. Like it hurt, but like I wanted to be like, yo, no, I got to get better at this. This is. And I feel that proves a lot to you is like how you take losses. So I advise anybody who thinks they can do this to do it. If you're physically capable of course, because it really teaches you a lot about yourself, and it's really fucking fun, and it's scary. And like, I just advise people to get out of their fucking comfort zone. Like, I think that's why I resonate with people, because I push myself to do things that I shouldn't. And I think people like to see that. I don't know, but take it seriously and train. Find a fucking respectable gym who pushes you. And if they're telling you not ready to fight, listen to them. Don't go to a place, because we have people leave our gym all the time because we have we've started to be a little more like stringent about like strict things. And people are like, no, I'm ready to fight. It's like, no, man, we're telling you you're not. Listen to us. Like, we want you to be safe and give the best version of you. And we've had it happen over the weekend. Somebody got into it with us, and I was like, bro, you don't need to be here then. Because he's like, I'll fight at other schools then. Or he said, there's other schools, we'll find them. If you're not, we're doing a process for you, not for us. Like, I don't get paid to fucking find you fights. And these guys they're not getting rich coaching you. You know what I mean? But their hearts are here. You know what I mean? Like, they're here trying to get you better. So I'm rambling, but like, find a gym that cares about you. That's the most important thing. You found Atlas, right? I mean, yeah. You love it. Like, that's your fucking tribe, bro. Like, find that tribe.
It's the same thing over at Atlas. They won't send you in unless you're ready. Yeah.
And if people are throwing you in there, cool. Like, that's what you want. Cool. Like, go out there and prove it. But like, I don't know, man. Like, I wasn't ready. I wouldn't do it until Kenny and, Nels signed off on me being ready. You know what I mean? And like, and like I said, I boxed a little bit in my 20s. So Kenny, at the beginning, he was like, hey, listen, you can get in there right now. You know what, you have the general thing, but work with me for a while to get good. Like, and I don't know. Try it, man. It was fucking life-changing. There's nothing like it, man. It's like it's one of the last true adventures you can really do as a human that'll really fucking put you in a controlled danger. And I think that's what a lot of society is missing. We're too soft. And I don't mean that in a way of like, you got to be a hardcore mean person. Just like, life's out there, man. It should be a little bit, fucking one point in our life, why we have anxiety now is because at one point in our life, we didn't know where we were sleeping. We didn't know what we were eating. I'm not saying I want to go back to that. I'm fat. I like Italian food, man. I like fucking ice cream. But like, at one point in time, we lived in that fucking, where we, and that's what we're designed for, like, to be like, what the fuck's going on? We need more of that in life, man. But, and also, if you ever need a commentator for your stuff again, man, hit me up. I remember that one time it was short notice, but
I've been trying. Normally, whenever we do the streams, we offer people the opportunity to use our people or use their own. Unfortunately, I've been trying to push you, and I've been trying to push Alex Casiano, but they seem to gravitate towards their own people.
No, of course. I'm just saying, if you ever need that, I would go with my own people too. I trust them. I wouldn't want me to represent my brand half the time either. So I'm trying to get people to do drugs and take fights.
All right.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Man. If you did stick to this long. What?
Where can people find you?
Don't fucking you don't want to say my name like Beetlejuice, bro. I'll show up.
Professor Cloudhammer.
We got Professor of the Hammers, our podcast. I'm always at Team Jacau, Scotia. We have Team Jacau, Clifton Park. If you're in the area looking for a place to train, please come in, check it out. Man, first week's on me. Tell them you fucking know me and whatever. Or you can find me, Richard Cloudhammer, on Instagram and Facebook. and you can see me at the shows. I'm around. So.
All right, man. It's been a blessing having you on.
Thank you so much, man. I'm so proud of you for fucking, I've known you for a while. I'm proud of you to see you build your stuff. It's awesome. It's inspiring. So you're a workhorse, man. You never sit back and just fucking accept things. It's like to see you create. People should do that. Follow your footsteps.
Hey, man, you got to move forward. Can't stop. All right, real quick, guys. If you like this podcast, you may like the Nonsensical Knowledge Podcast, one of our sponsors. Make sure you swing over there. We're going to drop a link down in the bio. Till next time, guys, stay blessed and keep moving forward.
Happy holidays.
Peace.